has been interesting tonight. We have the Lyft app open. We've been watching it for the last few minutes. At one point, there were no drivers. Then it was a 26-minute wait. Now it is a 20-minute wait to get to the airport. But we have heard about waits up to 2 hours long, especially at the airport within the past couple of weeks. There's been spring break, the NCAA tournament, and casinos expanding to 50% capacity.
I see the demand over the last 2 weeks pick up greatly, big time. I got a ride now.
Local Uber drivers like Jim Hoyt say they have been extremely busy.
Oh, it's great for me right now. I think as the casinos opened up to 50% and the hotels and everything, that bumped everything up. You know, people are escaping all these lockdowns and everything.
He says as more people go out, he makes more money.
If you have a van that can hold the people, you can do the XL rides. That's all I do now.
He's glad to be behind the wheel, but knows not everyone is making that choice.
Some drivers didn't come back to work or they're too afraid to go back to work. Me, I'm live my life like I always have.
There was a huge cut in business. A lot of passengers weren't here. Everything was pretty much closed down, and I would sit around for hours.
Will Misdom drove for both Uber and Lyft, thousands of rides over 4 years.
Well, I was working every single day.
He called it quits near the beginning of the pandemic.
They weren't enforcing the mask mandate at the time either, so passengers were getting in the car during COVID without having to use mask. And if you tell them to use mask, they will rate you bad or have an attitude with you.
He says as demand is now increasing, the ride-sharing services are hailing him.
And they keep sending me stuff, incentives, trying to get me back on the road. But just like a lot of other drivers, we don't want to do it because it's not worth it. And they've been cutting rates on top of that.
He says that is the biggest reason not to return. With rising gas prices and business fees, he would make less money today for the same amount of work.
Raise the pay up to, at least to where it was before COVID hit, instead of dropping it. I mean, that's really all we care about. Let's be honest, we care about the money.
And we've heard from spokespeople from both Lyft and Uber. Lyft saying this is the busiest that they have been since the onset of the pandemic. Uber said this, quote, surge pricing inadvertently impacts drivers' earnings and rider reliability. Of course, there has been a pause on surge pricing in the state of Nevada during the pandemic. Meanwhile, Lyft says we are working diligently to adjust the current landscape and are investing to increase the number of drivers. Of course, we'll continue to follow this for you. For now, we are live in Henderson. Kim Passoff, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.